Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here once again for tea time. Today, we have a little bit of misty morning and focus combination. So good, so good. Sometimes blending teas together just works. It just works. I might make a focus and misty morning combination. A lot of people like that. I like it. Maybe I'll do it. Anyways, I hope you're hanging out with me, having your cup of tea or possibly a cup of me, one or the other, maybe some hard alcohol. Depends on what part of the planet you're on. But today we're going to be talking about the BCN rankings. And I talk about these every time they come out because it gives us a means of seeing direction of the market. Now, the BCN rankings are based in Japan, and it takes about, let's call it 50% of the entire retail establishment of camera sales, the market, and it does direct sales data comparison. Okay, so that we know exactly what is being sold at any given time from these retailers. And once again, it's like 50% of them. It's a lot. Now, this isn't worldwide information, okay? This is the Japanese market, but it has a very, let's say, similar feel to the rest of the market. And for us, it allows us to see brand popularity and possibly brand enthusiasm. Which one is kind of moving up, which one is moving down, and possibly reading the tea leaves, pardon the pun, we can find out why this is happening, right? So, before I get into it, I want to ask that you go and pick up my ebook. Go over to JCristina.com/ebook, 10 tips at making tack sharp images. There's something there for everyone, amateurs, pro-ams, as well as professionals. Go pick it up. It is free. That is about the best price you're going to find. Free. JCristina.com/ebook. So let's get into these BCN rankings. Now, what I did different than I've done ever before is I've put a side-by-side together for you guys. So what we have is the 2019 rankings as well as the 2020. Because sometimes when you just get a number, it's like, okay, compared to what? And I think that is very important to be able to get a more broad scope of what's going on. Who's coming up, who's going down, and by how much, which is also very important. So once again, I'm going to put these side by side, 2019 on one side, 2020 on the other side. We're going to start out with point and shoots, then we're going to go through DSLRs, mirrorless cameras, video cameras, and of course action, because a lot of you guys like action stuff, right? So, starting out with the point and shoots. Now, in 2019, we had Nikon, Canon, and then Sony. That was the order. First place was Nikon with 31.5% of the market, Canon coming in at 29.8%, and Sony coming in third with 11.9%. Now, look what has happened here in 2020. We have Canon now bumping up in the point and shoot market with 39.1%. It was, like I said, 29.8%. We have Sony coming up to 19.7%. They were once again at 11.9%, and FujiFilm, guys, FujiFilm at 11.4% of the market. They weren't there in 2019. They were not there. That is very notable. Okay, Nikon has dropped off the point and shoot list. Okay, we'll get into that later on in the video. Next comes DSLRs. We're all into DSLRs, at least until the last couple of years, where the new shiny item is mirrorless, right? So DSLRs, we originally in 2019, we had Canon, Nikon, and Ricoh. That's how they fared. First, second, and third. Canon, Nikon, and Ricoh. This year, we have Canon, Nikon, and Ricoh again, but look at the percentages. We see Canon at 51.9, where they were 57.4, so they went down in DSLRs, where we see Nikon has come up from 39.3 to now 44.8. That is a 5% increase. That is really quite good for Nikon when it comes to DSLRs. We know they have some amazing DSLRs, like the one that I always talk about, of course, a D850 that I think is fantastic. Next, you have Ricoh at 3%, and it really didn't budge too much. 3% this year, 3.1 last year. It doesn't make too much of a difference. It is what it is. Then we have mirrorless. Now, this is a lot of people are interested in because, like I said, it is the shiny new item. And in the shiny new item category, we have Canon was in first position, and then Olympus in second, and then Sony in third. Well, in 2020, this has changed. We have Sony coming in at 27.4 of the market in comparison to 22.7 before, and we see Canon dropping all the way down to 23.8, whereas they were at 31.6. So Canon dropped. And now we have Olympus coming in third at 23.4. So Olympus went down to third, Canon went down to second, and Sony popped up there to the #1 position when it comes to mirrorless sales. Now this is very notable also. I'm going to get into that towards the end of this video. Keep this in mind. Sony is in #1. Now, video. Now, this is kind of interesting too. Last year, we had Panasonic in #1, Sony, and then JVC. This year, we see Sony bumping up to 37.3% of the market, where they were 35.1%, and Panasonic dropping like a rock from 45.8% all the way down to 32.3% of the market. And of course, we have JVC coming in at 11%, dropping just a couple of points from 13.1%. What's notable here is Panasonic. What the hell happened over there? That is a massive drop. That's not a little bit of a drop. That is a big, big drop. I mean, we're talking a monster drop, about maybe 15% in the course of a year. What is going on? That is just strange to me. But Sony pulls in once again #1 when it comes to video. Now, I do video all the time. Panasonic is usually #1. Most of the studios that I work for, they're shooting Panasonics, all right? They love their EVA 1s. They love Panasonic in general, even though it can't focus for hell, but doesn't matter because most of the time we're doing manual focus anyways and just pulling our focus. But anyways, they did drop. So Sony comes in #1 when it comes to video. And then lastly, we have action. Nothing new here really besides GoPro going down from 74.3% of the market down to 70. Big friggin' deal. They own the entire market, right, guys? They own the whole market. Sony coming in at 7.5, whereas they were at 8.5, so they dropped 1 point. And then SAC, which is a Japanese company, they rate really horrible, but anyways, 6.5% of the market. And they were at 7.2. If you look up those cameras, I mean, ratings are like 1 star, 2 star. If I see a 3 star ever, it's very rare. So there's really no competition. GoPro still owns this market completely. Now, what matters here? What is notable? Back to what we were talking about before. Well, #1, Sony picking up the #1 position when it comes to video, I think is very notable, all right? Because that has not happened for a while. Panasonic has always led the way. Sony bumping up means that Sony's doing something right, okay? #2, Nikon drops, okay, completely off radar when it comes to point and shoot. Now, this might change because of Olympus going bye-bye, right? So now we don't see Nikon in the top 3 at all. That's not great. That's not great. Also, we see that Nikon still has not made it to the top 3 position when it comes to mirrorless. That's with the Z6, the Z7, the Z6 Mark II, the Z7 Mark II. It is still not in the top 3. But once again, saving grace might be Olympus dropping out or possibly dropping out. It depends on what the new company does with them. Also, we see that Nikon is bumping up when it comes to DSLR, 5%. That is a bunch, all right? They are selling a lot of DSLRs. And I said this about 3, 4, 5 videos ago, and people are like, what are you talking about? They're selling really well when it comes to DSLRs. They have fantastic DSLRs, all right? Probably some of the best that are on the market. So it makes sense. Their D850 I always talk about. And finally, the biggest thing, the most noteworthy here, is that Sony surpasses Canon when it comes to the mirrorless market. And that is even with Canon's EOS R5 and R6. That is massive, guys. That is massive. And the reason why I feel it's massive is because we know the Canon EOS R5 and R6 has been crushing it, okay? And they've had plenty of them to sell, and they've been selling the hell out of them. Whereas Sony really hasn't released a lot of new mirrorless cameras in 2019, but yet the cameras that they do have are still that good. People are still buying them. And it doesn't matter if it's their APS-C or if they're full frame, they're still buying the hell out of them. Once again, pushing Canon out of the #1 position down to #2. So anyways, guys, this is just some information I wanted to share with you. I always do when BCN rankings come out. As we said, it doesn't account for the entire world, but I do feel that it gives a little bit of an understanding of popularity and, of course, brand enthusiasm. Where is the hearts and minds of the people, right? Which camera manufacturer has it? Is it Sony? Is it Canon? Is it Nikon? Is it Olympus? Is it Panasonic? FujiFilm? What is it? Okay. And I think that that is something to really look at. And I do want to once again also notate that we see FujiFilm coming into the 3rd position when it comes to point and shoot cameras. That is really good. Bumping out Nikon. FujiFilm bumps out Nikon when it comes to point and shoots. That's also quite noteworthy. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. If you have, please throw it a big thumbs up. That would be absolutely awesome. And if you so desire, click this little bell icon right here. So when I come out with a new video or if I go live, you'll be notified of it immediately. Also, join us in the comment area below. Let's hear your thoughts about all of these numbers. What do you think? Where are things going? What do we think that's going to happen for 2021? And when we're done talking down here, head over to my creative Discord server that I created for all of us. Go over to community.JCristina.com. Once again, community.JCristina.com. There's a lot of great people over there where you can just hang out with a lot of really smart people, no trolls, ask questions, and just share. It's awesome. And as I always say, if you haven't downloaded my ebook yet, go download it over at jcristina.com/ebook. And finally, head over to my website, jcristina.com, where you can find all the photography tools that I've invented for you and me over the years. And hopefully there's something there that you might like. And if there is, please pick it up and support me and my family. That would be much appreciated. And just for being a subscriber, use promo code YT20 at checkout. Once again, YT20 at checkout, and you will get 20% off everything that's in your shopping cart. Doesn't matter if it's a focus pyramid, a PRT, one of the Aurora Camera Care cleaning products, or possibly some of my Dark Moon teas. Doesn't matter. 20% off. Once again, promo code YT20. That's it, guys. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe and stay healthy.